Chapter 4. In front of the door, I was afraid again of the ridiculous. It would mean things had become normal in the meanwhile of looking for help, increased by taking home a stranger with an excuse that may be false. "Aren't we going in?" he asked urgently. I opened the door with my eyes closed, expecting to see flying at least the 12-year-old Cuban rum bottle I kept in the larder since the faculty trip. "Bloody hell!" Lois shouted, opening his eyes and raising his hands up to his head. There was something trying to hang the milkwoman on the hall wall, where, of course, there wasn't a tag to do it. "That bastard is going to break it," I said, leaving the keys in the door lock and grabbing the picture. I expected to feel an invisible force. The invisible thing was obvious. If I could see it, this story would be meaningless. If it was the ghost of, I don't know, Paul Newman, when he was young, of course, I would take it easy. What for I was going to kick him out? I know as soon as I took the frame, it remained free on my hands, and the keys ran to the kitchen, jumping of joy as if the corridor was a field of daisies. "Holy crap!" Lois exclaimed, dumbfounded. "I have been waiting for something like this all my life," he said, tapping the air, expecting to feel something. He went after the keys, and at the kitchen, he sat down on a chair to see how the apparition beat with a spoon an earthenware casserole I had for the salads. It gave them a touch of thickness, not so herbal. He signaled me to sit down next to him. Well, in a first diagnosis, I'll say it's a goblin. I had to look at him badly. The magic shop's woman had just told me so. That's why I had gone to the mysterious science faculty, searching for the goblins and similar creatures department. Fine, well, it could be an elf, a leprechaun, a gnome, a devil, a nymph. Sure, and if I were Snow White, they could be the 7 dwarfs. I said with sarcasm. I have to go for my instruments to do more tests. Oh God, it's so exciting. This is the most important day of my life, he said, giving me 2 warm kisses, very cursed. He left in a hurry, leaving me with the drummer goblin that was going to burst my head, or the eardrum at least. He didn't take more than 15 minutes in coming back with a design shoulder bag that gave him an interesting intellectual look. He put it on a chair and spread several things out on the table, asked me for an adapter and plugged 4 devices he brought in. Once they felt the current, 2 of them started to give lights out. One a pillar of green light, the other a rainbow, not in bow shape, but as a series of intermittent colors like a colored forehead of Kit. I need them to place the spectrum we are moving in. Country, city, water, earth, fire, work, sparking, joy, love, and so. He explained like knowing what he was talking about. In a matter of seconds, the drummer goblin stopped playing the casseroles and the silence fell, only stained with scientific deployment electric humming. Suddenly, the green light pillar stopped as if someone had sat down on it, and afterwards it interrupted intermittently as if the evil goblin was jumping through it by way of San Juan's bonfire. I looked at Lois to see how good was his face. Not a clue. He was writing down in a small notebook he had taken out from the jacket since the orchestra went quiet. Not later, the device with the color lights started to flicker, changing into green, going out, changing into blue, going out, changing into yellow, and on for a while. And for another while, the goblin passed by each device like in an amusement park. Then by all in a row, and then ha! A shout of an indeterminate voice with a deafening volume. I fell on my bottom because it seemed to me it had just shouted in my ear. "Oh, Lord!" Lois exclaimed, scrubbing his hair with the index finger. "What the hell was that?" "Why are you asking what the hell was that? It's you who has to say it. You are the expert. Sorry, the minus a subject expert," I said. To tell the truth, the first thing that crossed my mind was that it was you that had hysterics. He dropped as a revenge. He got closer to the devices and pressed the buttons, making notes at every moment. "Ha ha!" we heard again with the hearing remaining from the former time. Lois looked at me with a scared face and pointing at the air, he said in low, "It speaks." "Ha ha ha!" he repeated. "Then tell him something," I answered, also in low voice, but angry. "Who are you?" Lois asked. "Ha ha!" the goblin insisted. Lois went back to the shoulder bag. He took out a laptop and looked something up eagerly. "Ha ha!" the goblin repeated, jumping from one device to another. It was as if he suddenly realized he could shout, as if one of that device revealed his voice and so he could bother more. "Ha ha! Jump! Ha ha! Jump!" "Hey, listen, wouldn't you have one device to see him?" I asked. "Ha ha! That's what I was looking for. If we can hear him, we probably can see him," Lois said. "Ha ha! Well, it seems he doesn't agree," I deduced. "He doesn't understand us. He just shouts," Lois explained. The goblin laughed. Lois said he didn't understand us, but I deeply believe he did, and that he was laughing at us. Lois finished reading what he was reading on the screen, closed it and kept into the bag. Afterwards, he began to switch all the devices off, unplugged them, picked the wires, and kept it all inside the bag. I thought he had read a catastrophe was about to happen, and he was running away like a rat in a shipwreck. But he signaled me to shut up. He took the shoulder bag, grabbed me by the arm, and we went out to the landing. He wasn't happy with me pulling the door. He told me to lock it with the key. "What?" I asked, dying to know. "Let's see, how did you say this thing appeared?" he asked, taking a deep breath. I told him the armchair thing, the same writing on the bottom fabric, and Lois opened his eyes more and more, until I reached the 6 times thing. At that point he leaned against the wall, slid to the ground, and sat down on the stairs. "What?" I asked again. He stretched up to his bag. He opened it, took the devices out again and spread them all over the floor. Took the laptop out too, opened it, switched it on, searched and showed it to me. On the screen there was a text document. He went down with the cursor until the headline "And John's Devil" appeared. Underneath there were a large text written with a very small letter that I could hardly read, not because of its size, but because my sight was blurred when I read the word